Hi, my fellow YouTubians. Welcome to the contest. I'm shooting this video here in Union Station in downtown Chicago, which is the location for the slow-motion shootout in The Untouchables. They shot it right here on the staircase, I think, which actually looks smaller than it does in the movie. But, you know, I mean, that's the magic of movies, right? On my last video, I mentioned that I was going to be doing this contest on the best movies of the decade. And I'm making this video to kind of lay out the rules and guidelines and such. I could just do a top 10 list, just read it a year from now on camera, but that would be boring. I wanted to do something more fun. I decided to make a game out of it. So you'll have the opportunity to guess which titles I'm referring to and possibly win some prizes. That would be fun, right? Here's how it's going to work. Every month I'm going to post 2 videos. The first, which is going to be 3 clues, each of which will pertain to my 3 favorite movies from that particular year. Next month, February is going to be 2000, March is going to be 2001, April is going to be 2002, and so on. And I'm also going to throw in a couple of videos regarding my favorite movies of the 80s and 90s, which will be 10 movies apiece. Now, the people who correctly guess which titles I'm referring to based on the clues, the first 4 people get prizes. And those will be, of course, a shout out. You know, I'll mention you in a video and I'll provide a link to your channel, but I'm also going to be offering a customized video. If you are one of the first 4 people to correctly get all the titles right, then I will make a customized video especially for you on the subject of your choosing. That would be fun, right? Unless, of course, you can't stand me, in which case, why are you watching me to begin with? But we don't get into that. So, first a clues video, and then a week later, the answers video, which I reveal exactly which titles I'm talking about and tell you a little bit about why I like them. And so, in January next year, I will be doing the contest for the best of the decade. There'll be a selection of 30 titles to choose from, in which point you can then try and figure out which 10 titles are on my best of the decade list. And for those who get that right, there's a much more substantial prize, like a DVD, which I will personally purchase and send to you if you live somewhere in the continental U.S. I'm not extremely wealthy, so I can't really send packages to Taiwan and Australia and England, or even Hawaii for that matter. It's just a little bit too expensive. But for those of you who live here in the 48s, yeah, that would be nice, right? You'd like to win a DVD? Yeah, thought so. So, again, it's going to be obviously the 12 months, 10 on each year of this decade, 1 for the 80s and 1 for the 90s. As far as the release dates go for each of the movies, I'm really going by the Chicago release dates. Revolutionary Road, for example, is technically a 2008 movie because it got Oscar nominated this year. And it, of course, was released in New York and LA. They do that. They release movies ahead of time in New York and LA to qualify for awards. However, it did not come out here in Chicago until January 2nd, actually, which means that, as far as I'm concerned, it is a 2009 movie. And since I'm not a professional critic and I'm not privy to advanced screenings and such like that, I just go by the general release dates, which I think is only fair. So, when you're looking at the clues and you think, I think that's from such and such a movie, but it didn't really come out that year, did it? Well, it might not hurt to double check because it might be one of those early release movies that got a general release a couple months later in January, February the following year. Something to think about. Also, I'm not going to be doing documentaries on this contest. Documentaries are a very different animal. The ones I'm just going to be focusing on here involve scripts and actors and such. And so I'll be doing a top 10 documentaries of the decade, but I'm not involving that in this particular contest. It's just narrative features, even the ones based on true stories. I think that pretty much covers the contest itself. Oh, one more thing. As far as making guesses, it's important that you post your response as a text response on the video itself versus doing a video response or a private message to my channel. The reason for that is I need to be able to determine accurately who has been the first in line with all the right answers. If I get, 10 people who give me the right answers, I need to be able to determine which 4 got there first. So, text responses only, and try not to post a response as a reply to somebody else's response because that will mess up the order. I won't be able to tell where you came in the sequence. So, the easiest thing would be when you get the clue video to just go down to the bottom of the page and put your answers in the comment section and then post it, and that way I'll know who is first in line. One more thing. I wanted to mention that another guy in this site is helping me out with oversight. His name is Cosmic Zen, and he's got a very cool channel. He does a lot of videos on philosophy and morality. Kind of a deep thinker, but he's also a movie buff, and he's a subscriber on my channel, so I asked him to provide oversight, basically to make sure that I wasn't going to be changing my answers in the middle of the guessing period to avoid giving prizes to anybody. And he graciously agreed, which is very generous of him because he's a big movie buff and he wanted, I'm sure, to participate in this contest as well, try and guess titles, but he is generously bowing out and serving in this capacity instead. So big thanks to Cosmic Zen, and I'll provide a link to one of my favorites in his videos so you can check him out. I'm sure you'll like him. So that's it for now, and starting in February I'll start posting the guest videos, so good luck, and put your thinking caps on, and take it easy.